What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Rantpocalypse Talks Cinemax and Robert Kirkman and Skybound and Image Comics and whoever the hell else is Outcast. I'm Justin.
Hey, I'm Kelly. I actually feel like it's my Outcast too because I love the show. So I'll claim it for Rantpocalypse.
There you go. Rantpocalypse is Outcast. Holy shit! This show is so damn good so far. I feel so bad that we've waited this long to start doing our recaps and such because holy crap, we've been missing out for the last few Fridays now. We are here to discuss season 1, episode 2. And it's entitled I Remember When She Loved Me. This episode dives way more into Kyle's backstory. We get a new mission for Mark and Chief Giles. Rev Anderson gets fired up about putting butts in the pews. And a mysterious new character is introduced. So what did you think overall about this episode?
Again, I loved it. It was awesome. I wish I'm not a big churchgoer. I'd go to Reverend Anderson's church because the whole idea of a preacher saying, getting the butts in the pews. I like that. I like the fact that he doesn't mind drinking a beer. And he's, looking for love. So
I know. Where's this preacher been at all my life? Because I would have went to church more often.
I'm wondering as you watch this, with us being a mother and son duo, we have a unique perspective, obviously, on this show. I feel so badly for this mom, knowing because I know what it's like. I love you with all my heart, with every part of my being, and the idea of the fight that she had to put on to try to not be insane, not be possessed, not beat your kid. It's just, again, this show is heartbreaking for me.
Yeah, no, you're completely right. When I was watching those scenes, for me, like you relate to obviously the mom portion of the show, to her character, Sarah Barnes. For me, I'm relating to Kyle in the sense that I'm thinking, oh my God, how awful would this be to have you, my mom, be in this catatonic state? We had this fantastic relationship, and then it just went completely to shit, and you beat the hell out of me for, I don't know how long this happened in Kyle's life, but let's just say months, years, because it had been going on for a while. So yeah, I'm just thinking the whole time, I'm like, this is devastating to see this play out. Like, I would be so heartbroken having to deal with that in my life. So I can only imagine for Kyle, his character. That's just gut wrenching.
It's like if you are in a bad situation from the beginning, it's not as bad. You grew up with it being terrible. You're used to being terrible. You've already, walled your heart in.
And you overcome it, and hopefully it's not terrible after that.
Right. But when it was wonderful and, hearts and flowers and him telling his mom through the window, I love you. And to go to just, they're outside playing in the sprinkler and suddenly she freaks out and starts eating dirt and goes insane.
Yeah, I know that part was insanely crazy. It was such an awesome scene to see.
Where is the dad in all of this?
It's so weird to have you say that. That's something I've never thought of in the comic books because, we're introduced to Kyle and his mom in the comic books, but you really only see a lot of the abusive relationship in the comic books thus far. Like, this episode was a huge deviation from the comics, which was so nice to see because I loved the premiere episode, that it was such a faithful recreation of the comics, and then we dived off a little different way. Which is great. And yeah, I've never thought about the dad, like not once. So maybe we're going to get more story about his dad in this TV show, and maybe it's in the comic books as well, and I just haven't gotten to that portion.
The mysterious man that you talk about in the synopsis, and he's very well dressed. Is that possibly the dad? Did he get with Sarah just strictly to make Kyle? Is he the devil? Is he the devil's boss? The demon's boss. I don't know. Is he human? So
no, I have so many questions about him. Lots and lots of questions about that character. I don't think that he's his dad, but I could see some scenario where Kyle himself is he was manufactured, if you will. Like, you know, he's not a robot or anything, but that all the stars had to align to create Kyle, because we do, you know, even in the short one episode and then this episode now, we know that these demons are they're invested in Kyle. There's something going on there. I know I'm trying not to dive into the comics and bring too much into this discussion, but I'll just say that yes, they're you know, they have been seeking him out.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's not a random possession. It's not just some Joe Blow walking by. Hey, let's jump in him, and you know, it's obvious it's special that he's very special. Yeah,
there's some kind of connection for sure between, you know, Reverend Anderson, Kyle, because they keep coming into Reverend Anderson's life, and he in turn brings Kyle into everything. We get like at the very end of this episode, I don't know if you caught it. It was only an audio soundbite. Is you can hear Reverend Anderson coming into the house.
Kyle.
Yeah, exactly. So it was really cool. So we know that Reverend Anderson was there. He even speaks to it throughout the episode as well.
I loved that, the fact that he has been in Kyle's life all this time. So you know that this is a special relationship, and also he has to also, you know, carry some guilt, just like the neighbor did, that they didn't do anything about the whole abuse from the mom.
So okay, let's get into our top three, so that way we can discuss some of our favorite moments from the episode, and then give our overall score of episode 2 of Outcast. So you can start it off for us with your number 3.
My number 3 is when Kyle's sister Megan, against her better judgment, gives Amber, that's his daughter's name, right? Is Amber?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes. Kyle's gift that he so sweetly and lovingly wrapped, but it was a book from his childhood that he enjoyed. So Amber gets the gift, loves it. We see her that she's fallen asleep, you know, reading it. And my thought at first was, oh, that is so sweet. And then I thought, holy crap. What if this has something to do with the possession that he's, you know, what if it's tainted? I don't know. I'm terrified now.
I know it's almost like everything Kyle touches turns to shit. And so you have to worry that, like, okay, is it like a Harry Potter scenario where there's Horcruxes in these books and they escape and everything, and these demons possess other people through that scenario? I don't think so, but I get what you're saying, and I love that moment too. It was very touching. That was definitely a difference from the comic book as well, and I loved it. Like, I absolutely loved that they changed this up, because in the comic book, Megan goes to meet Allison in like a coffee shop or something. I like that this gave Megan an actual reason to go visit Alice and everything. It was a little bit better of a reason than in the comic books, as opposed to her just going to meet her in a coffee shop, where like it makes more sense that it's her birthday and, you know, Kyle's going to give her this gift and everything. So I really like that. I thought it was a really, really cool scene. My number 3, we talked about it briefly earlier, Reverend Anderson getting riled up, putting asses in pews. I love that so much. I love that he's telling that story. You know, he's like, I'd rather be out fishing than listening to old cantankerous Reverend Anderson. And, you know, people start laughing. Just loved it when he said, you think this shit's funny?
Yeah. What are you laughing about?
Yeah.
And also, I mean, the thing is because I watched that scene back just because I was curious about it. And he's smiling as he says it. So if you smile at me, I always anxiously giggle anyway. Go ahead, smile at me, Justin. Okay, so my number 2 is the end of the fight that, you know, occurs with Kyle and his mom, and she barfs the demon up, and it forms this supernatural noose that goes over and hangs Kyle, and it chokes him. I don't know, did it choke him to death? Did he die? Because it let go and he falls to the ground. We don't ever see so we don't know.
I don't know about that either. That was my first thought. I was like, wait a second, is
he dead?
Dead? What's going on here?
It'd be kind of odd. Why would demons want him if he's already dead?
That's one of the biggest questions from this episode for me.
Yeah, huge question. But his mom laying there and helplessly watching as all this happens, because she sees the whole thing unfold.
Basically, whenever her and Kyle are getting into that fight, I mean, you see that some of his blood gets on her. I mean, and it almost looked like a teardrop got on her as well, because I think it's not only the blood, it's like every part of Kyle can either hurt these demons or strengthen these demons, apparently.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was kind of showcasing that she couldn't do anything to get to Kyle in that moment, because obviously she would have, because the demon had gone out of her body, but she was in that catatonic state where all she could do was just watch in sadness. And I mean, it made me super damn sad. That was not cool.
Yeah, that was it was so awful, and I am so curious to find out what happened. Did he breathe? Is he dead? I don't know. So
all right, my number 2, which is something that was also different on the show.
Okay. I thought you were going to say you already talked about.
No, you didn't talk. So far, this is like a monumental occasion that we do not have the exact same top 3. But this was different from the comic to the show, and I'm super glad that they put this in there because I love it. But that's Chief Giles and Mark's mission. Holy crap, that was creepy as shit. For one, it feels like we've got some Seven / Silence of the Lambs / True Detective crazy.
True Detective,
going on.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, it definitely felt True Detective because we're in this like super rural setting, and then we see all these animal sacrifices. They're like nailed to these trees. It was crazy.
It was crazy, and they went out of their way to seemingly put these animals in, in a very in a crucified looking manner to me, because they didn't just nail them up there where they just hung. I mean, they were all splayed out. So that was creepy. And I have ridden horseback through that same woods, I know, a bazillion times, and I'm never going back there again.
That was another thing for me too. Like that hit really close to home because growing up, you hear about these places where they're devil worshippers. Like,
right.
They'll go out there in the middle of the woods and they will make animal sacrifices, and they have like a bonfire set up. It's like creepy as shit. And that's real, people. Like, I don't know where you're growing up. If you've never heard of that, grow up in the country and you will definitely hear that shit. And I remember like the creepy ass road that, my dad was like, don't go down that road at night. That's where devil worshippers are. Boy, don't go down there. And so I never did, but you had to do it. You had to do it once. And sure enough, you can see people out there. They're doing crazy shit.
Really? You did, you idiot.
Well, it was the same dirt road where I grew up that also had this really creepy bridge. You probably remember maybe like horror stories of this bridge. It's like, I can't remember what it was called, but so you got the creepy bridge already. Yeah. And that one's really creepy. And then you go over the bridge and you're into like even more creepyville with people out there sacrificing animals. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, so that one is great for me.
Okay, my number 1 is the dude in the suit. Is he the devil? ? Is he the demon's boss? Because he is dressed nicely. But when he goes in to talk to Kyle's mom, and and he's telling her, even though you fought so hard, and you had so much fire to you, you were trying so hard to keep from having this happen to you, and I'm assuming happening to Kyle as well. I would have to say that was a big part of her fight, even though maybe we don't see that yet. And when he says, it doesn't matter, we still have Kyle, and you see that tear go down his mom's eye, and I'm like, oh damn.
This was taken word for word, panel for panel from the comic books, because you'll see the mysterious headed man right here, and he's talking to Sarah Barnes, talking to Kyle's mother, and that's when he tells her the worst part is your son will never know how much you fought back, how much you resisted, and he says you would have given your life to stop us, and in a sense you did. That makes me want to cry every time. But that little shot of her, you can't really see it all that well, but she's got the teardrop in her eye in the comic as well.
So you know that we don't know how much of her surroundings, you know, that she's aware of. But obviously she's aware when this guy comes. And if it's the devil, he's going to make sure that she's able to be aware.
Yeah, it's such a sad moment. Good God. I mean, they're really doing a fantastic job of torturing us with his mom's plight in life, because you know, this sucks. I mean, she was super happy. I loved seeing all those scenes of Kyle's mom earlier, you know, when they're playing back and forth, she's squirting the water at him and everything. It was all
the flowers she has growing around her home. And I mean, obviously they were happy. They had a great relationship.
You see, that home was nice at one point.
It was nice. And that was weird for me. Weird. So I'm thinking, this is the same house. Because now it just looks like it's in the middle of this field, this decrepit, you know. I do like the fact that Kyle is making an effort. He's got water running in there now, and he unpacked some boxes.
Yeah, so, I mean, the house is coming together sort of nicely.
It's better.
You know, it's a fixer-upper still. I mean, it would be one of those HGTV homes where they go in and they're like, "Oh my God,
this wall must go. This wall must go."
Yeah, exactly. That was my number one as well. The introduction of the mysterious hatted man. I know who he is because he does get introduced in the comic books. He is a very large player in the comic books. It's going to be very exciting to see more of him. That's as far as I'm going to go at this point on my thoughts. I love that it's Brett Spiner that's playing him, freaking Data from Star Trek.
Right.
I would have never in a billion years been like, let's cast this guy.
That wouldn't have been my casting either, because in the comic book, you see that he appears to be a more robustly handsome fellow.
Yeah, he's got a very square jaw. Like, I mean, I don't know who I would. I'm thinking like, I just had him in my head. Oh, I know who would work perfectly for this character. And this is not taking away anything from Brett Spiner. I don't know how well he's going to play this character or not yet. I think he delivered the lines beautifully in this episode. The guy that's on Mad Men, the boss guy with the silver hair.
Silver hair. Yes, I'm ashamed because I kind of have been wanting to start creeping on this guy after watching Mad Men. Because I'm like, this guy's amazing. And that hair I love. He is sexy. They had a couple of scenes. Dude was in the bed, nothing on but a pillow in a, certain area.
Very strategic spot.
Exactly. No, it was a phone. It was a telephone. So.
Oh wow.
But that was the back day when the phones were larger.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it wasn't like a cell phone. He's like, hey, you got my cell phone.
No. Yeah. So, but yeah,
full-on rotary phone covering his jaw.
Exactly. But you're right. That would have been some excellent casting. Yeah. But see, I mean, look at that face. For God's sakes, look at that face. Look at that hair. You handsome man, you.
Okay, so that was my number one as well. I love that. I loved his conversation with Sarah. I cannot wait to find out more about his character. Like I said, I'm only up to the end of issue 12. And you still have not gotten his like complete story of what's going on. You get little hints that you can read into, but you're not like, it's not, straight out told to you, like, this is who this dude is. So what do you give this episode of Outcast out of bacons?
Okay. Again, we score 5 bacons is the top. 1 bacon really is not great. Although 1 bacon is still great.
Yeah, 1 bacon's better than no bacons.
No bacons, exactly. I'm going to give this a 5 bacon.
Wow, man.
I mean, I'm loving this show, so there's no reason for me not to give it 5 bacons.
I'm going to give the episode 4 1/4 bacons.
What the hell?
What the hell, man? No, I love the episode as well. I thought it was a fantastic episode. I don't even remember what I gave the premiere.
I gave it 5.
I love the changes from the comic book. The ones that we already talked about, Chief Giles and Mark's mission. I think that was a very interesting change. The huge change of freaking Kyle kidnapping his mom and bringing her home. Like, that was a crazy addition and change, which led to a very epic moment of an epic fail on the part of Kyle and Reverend Anderson of, I guess, trying to exercise her back to life, because they've got the demons out, but he wants her to be normal again. which again was a very sad moment. I love that they're building this world up even more. We're getting more backstory on a lot of the characters. We're getting more meat for some of these characters, especially like Chief Giles and Mark. Reverend Anderson's getting more stuff. He's getting a quasi love life. I know what the hell's going on there.
I loved how all those little ladies seemed to be fighting over him at that little luncheon. And that one just jumped right out there, and hey, well, I'd love to be a part of your put the butts in the seat gang.
Yeah, the Anderson's army.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I love that. She's beautiful, and he seemed like after he got talked into it, because like you said, his secretary, she's all, oh yeah, you are booked up except for supper.
Yeah, except for today. Yeah, and I love seeing more of Kyle with his mom. We get more of their happier times. So,
but I need to know why 3/4 of a bacon was not given. I want to know why you didn't give it 5. What's wrong with you?
Why did I not give it 5?
Did I not? I didn't beat you enough as a child.
You didn't. You didn't beat me. And I'm going back over all of my notes.
Yeah. I mean, because you are historically a high scorer.
I know. I think that's the only reason why I did not give it a 5 bacons out of 5 is because I'm trying, I'm turning a new leaf, and I'm trying to be more objective, I guess, with my scores.
Okay.
And which there's no fact-based scoring in this. This is all my opinion. It's all subjective opinion.
Your opinion is wrong, but that's fine. It's okay. We'll go with it.
Well, let us know, what do you score episode 2 of Outcast in the comments down below. Do you agree with my mom that it's 5 out of 5 bacons, that I'm a fool?
5 out of 5, or Justin?
You never take 3/4 of a bacon away from this amazing episode. So definitely let us know. Let us know all your thoughts. What the hell is going on with the mysterious headed man? Who is he? Is he the
devil? Is he the devil?
Yes, the devil. And what do you think happened with Kyle? Was he killed, or was he just choked out momentarily? Like, was he getting just a little sleeper hold?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. And the other question I want to ask people in the comments below, Patricia and Mildred, those were the 2 ladies that were definitely vying for Reverend Anderson's love the most. Patricia is the younger one. Mildred's a little bit older one. Mildred, she seems evil as fuck to me. So I want to know, do you think these 2 are playing Reverend Anderson? Because at this point, we don't know how far this shit goes with these, demons out there.
Yeah.
Like, are they just throughout the town and they do a better job of hiding it? Because Josh, he wasn't hiding shit. He was creepy. So maybe other demons throughout the town they're better at hiding stuff. So let us know all those thoughts in the comments down below. You can email us. It's rantpocalypse@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter. It's @Rantpocalypse. You can see it across the screen here. You can see my mom's Twitter as well. Thanks so much for joining us on our episode 2 discussion of Outcast, entitled "I Remember When She Loved Me." Maybe Allison will love him again, or maybe his mom will love him again.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, either way. But I do love you, Justin, so there you go.
Oh, appreciate it. Thanks so much. I love you too, Mom. All right. Thanks so much for joining us, and we will be back to recap episode 3.
Bye.